back. I believe we're back at least. It's looking like it. Man. Crazy day. Crazy day today. Crazy weekend it was. Um, it was super busy. What's going on, Tim? I ain't the stranger, man. I'm here. I'm here all the time. I'm here all the time, man. You the stranger. What's going on? It's good, brother. Brother. It's good, brother. Out there in Hawaii. It's still afternoon time for you. Or noon time for you. Things have been good though, man. Just been busy with as always, busy with work. Yeah. Yeah, it's always good, man. 3:34? That can't be right. In Hawaii? The fam's good, man. This weekend we had a big, huge party for my daughter, turning 5. Her actual birthday's on the 22nd, but all the school and stuff is out there, and so we had a big party. It ended up getting way bigger than what we thought. We invited the class, and usually my lady wasn't expecting but maybe 5 of the kids to come, and like darn near the whole class came, and then kids from other classes came, so we ended up having like 50 something people at the house for her birthday party, man. Um, but it ended up being good. We had the whole bounce house thing. We ordered a unicorn, so these 2 ponies showed up with the unicorn horns. They just on their little harness and stuff had a little horn on. It was a big hit. Like all the kids loved it and all that stuff. Um, so that was good. That went off without a hitch. But I tell you what, it wore me and the lady both out, man. Like we are beat and done. So um, that's all that's been going on for me. Oh, another big thing happened this weekend too. In the midst of all that stuff going on, I found out somebody stole my credit card, man. Stole my credit card number, at least, not my physical card. I still have the card, um, but the number was somebody got my number and went on a nice little $1,000 shopping spree. Having a good old time. Yeah, it was crazy. Um, I checked. It came out. I was picking up the pizzas for the party. I went to Little Caesars, and I just paid for the pizzas. I got a notification that the pizza charge went through. I use Capital One, and I use their app. So every charge that goes through, it sends me a little notification from the app. This amount was just approved here, and then as soon as I paid for that, like 2 minutes later, it said $30 approved for Lyft, and I'm like, Lyft, like I ain't use no Lyft. And I text the lady like, does this look familiar to you? And I sent it her a screenshot, and it said $30 Lyft. She said nope. And I knew right then something was funny. So I went in there and locked the card. You can go into the app and lock your card. And I locked my card because I was so busy with the party thing. I just said I'll deal with it afterwards, or I'll deal with it tomorrow. And then last night I was laying in the bed. Everybody was asleep, and I was going through my transaction. I noticed the day before, on Saturday, somebody had racked up like $600 worth of stuff. They did like over $200 at a yoga spot. Another like $250 worth of flowers from 1-800-flowers.com. Some other online place. And then this morning when I woke up, I had emails from Capital One saying, your charge for Uber was declined because you locked your card. Your charge for Pizza Nova, some pizza spot, was declined because you locked your card. So they were still trying to use it, even though I had locked the card. It actually ended up being okay. I reported it to Capital One, and they were really good. I did a lot of it through the app, man. So it was cool. They shut the card off immediately, and immediately sent me out another card, or they're sending me out another card, and in the app, I can see that new card number, so I can go ahead and start updating, all the online places where I have recurring charges every month that was going to that card. I can go to all those places and update it with the new card number and everything. But yeah, that old card is done for, man. It's crazy. There we go. They start putting the number on the back now, so I can show the front of it. But this is the card they got. This is the physical card right here. But somebody got that number, and they got my name and my mailing address because I did a little Magnum PI work today. I was starting to go down that rabbit hole, and I was like, nah, I can't get caught up in this. I can go. I could go deep, but I did. I called 1-800-Flowers, right? Because they made a charge from there over $50, close to that. And I said, I told the lady, somebody used my card to order flowers from there. Can you tell me who did that? And what the name was, what the address was, whatever. And she ended up giving me the name of the person that they were delivered to, the address of the person that they were delivered to. So I'm like, okay. So then I took that name and started looking up that name, and I might have narrowed it down. I think they were sent to some girl in Colorado. What was her name? Something Kennedy. Taylor Kennedy in Thornton, Colorado, which is like a suburb of Denver. So I looked that up and I found her on LinkedIn. And but then at that point, it was like, I can keep going down this rabbit hole, but do I really want to? I mean, Capital One's going to take care of it. They told me, don't even worry about it. Don't stress about it. You have 0% liability for any of the charges. I know I was going to do that. I was going to go crazy and start stalking them and stuff, So, and that's crazy. I should get psycho crazy and go buy a plane ticket and just show up on their doorstep. Like, I think I bought you some flowers. but nah, just messing around, having some fun. I am crazy like that though. I will do that. Do not get it mistaken. I will book that flight and fly to Denver, because I got the address and everything. I done Google mapped it, looked at the neighborhood, all that stuff, all that stuff, man. I'm equally. I think I'm equally as fascinated with the whole thing as I am bothered by it. What's going on, Olamita? I see you. I see you in the building. Talking with Tim. Kiana, what's going on? I see you. I got caught in the Home Depot ID theft, but my bank was really cool and acted quickly to suspend my card. Yeah, that's good, man. One of the things I'm happy about is that they only, they stole the Capital One card. So they've been going around spending Capital One's money and not my money. I was worried, I said they get the bank card, and they pull $1,000 off the bank card and out of my account. I don't know. I feel like I feel a lot better with them spending Capital One's money than mine, because I don't know how good my bank would be about, how quick they would be about remedying that situation. So, because it's different to have, credit disappear. That's fine. It ain't my money. It's their money. Than it is having my physical, paycheck dollars disappear out of my bank account. That's a whole nother deal, Imagine, they pull 1,000 out of the account that the mortgage is coming out of, or the car payment's coming out of, and then that can mess you up for a minute. Even if they have it fixed, like Capital One said, within 72 hours they'll have all the balances will be updated and everything within 72 hours. But what if that 72 hours is when you're supposed to be paying your bills and your mortgage and your car note and all that stuff? So I'm just glad I didn't have to deal with that headache on a bank account side, rather. So you crazy, Tim? You'll go with me, man. You'll go with me. I'm good, Olamita. I'm just telling them kind of how the weekend went, and I had a big party for my daughter, and then got my credit card number stolen with and people were going. So I looked up the Pizza Nova place. I thought it was somebody in Southern California, because that place only had 4 locations and they were all in Southern California. But the flowers were bought and shipped to Denver, Colorado. So I don't know what's going on. Then I looked up the yoga place that they spent $200 at, and there's a bunch of locations either in LA and there's a bunch of locations in Denver. So it's crazy. Oh, you starting a new channel? All right, that's what's going on, man. Congratulations. I'm all about that. Golden Child is the one that convince me and push me to start a channel at all. So that's the deal there. I see you, Ace. You hear the thing going off over here, Ace? Ace is writing in the Slack channel. So it's going off over there. I'm like, is work calling me? So, Kiana, I see you commented on some videos, or a video at least. I got that notification over here too. Rideshare story time. Oh, I dig that. You can add, that's another thing they did. They did that Lyft ride. They did an Uber ride. All kinds of stuff on my little credit card. So that'll be cool. Rideshare story time. I've seen some rideshare drivers do that before, where they would do story time with their passengers, and chat them up and then record it. They have the passenger's permission to record it and post it up on their channel. And there was some interesting stuff. You can have some interesting conversations if you're a rideshare driver. I did Uber and Lyft both back in the day for both of them. And, both at the same time type deal when I was in between programming jobs before, like a couple of years ago. And it was definitely interesting, man. I mean, I got a whole new respect for the people that do it as a hustle, as their only source of income. It ain't always easy. A lot of people think you just get in the car and drive, but there are people that go really, really deep into it as far as analyzing, surge patterns and, knowing the right spots to scope out, to get rides at. You got to have the passenger app going with your driver's app so you can see where the other cars are and try to position yourself in the right way so that, you'll get a ping and they don't get the ping. It's all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, man, I still have my Uber driver account and my Lyft driver account, but I think they're all out of date. Like, they sent me emails a long time ago. Your registration is expired. Your insurance on your car has expired. And I just never sent them the documents to update any of that stuff. The car that they got, I don't even own anymore. I had a Jeep. The lady used to drive a Jeep Compass, and that's what I used to Uber around in. And I sold that car earlier this year, back in March. I think I sold it, paid it off and sold it. Got another car. But anyway, that's the deal there. I shot that video on Team Treehouse that I did the last live stream on, and I haven't edited it yet. Matter of fact, that might be what I do tonight, is edit that video and get it up. And I just been busy with the party thing and then the credit card stolen thing and all of that. So now I should be able to get that edited tonight and get that up and out. After that, I had a few requests. Kiana, was that you that requested? No, it may or may not have been you, if you're still in the room, that requested video on real estate and getting your becoming a licensed realtor or real estate agent. I don't know if that was you or not. Yeah, that was you. Okay, cool. So I don't know what to really shoot on a video there. I can shoot a quick video talking about the process, being that I've gone through it twice now, and get how to get your real estate license, and get up and going. I can do that. I'll probably shoot that tonight. That might even come out before the Treehouse video, because I don't think there'll be a lot of editing in that. I'll just talk for about 5 minutes about that process. Just a quick overview on getting your real estate license and what the difference is between a salesperson and a broker's license or a broker salesperson, and all those little things, and what the association is, and yeah, I'll shoot that and put that up tonight, just for you, Miss Kiana, just for you. So that's the big thing that's going on there. Of course you're welcome. No problems. I am here to help. The Amazon stuff is going down too. I wasn't able to get to it on the day of the last video. I wanted to do it this weekend, but of course this weekend ended up getting out of hand. Yeah, new jobs or projects. No new jobs, no new projects on the second place I'm working with. has a big new feature coming out for search. So that's keeping me pretty busy, hands on. With the other place, my quote unquote, primary place I work for, um, we're winding down the end of the year as far as what the MVP was supposed to be. Um, so we got all the product features and stuff done, and all we're doing right now is really squashing bugs. So they're going through, running through everything, and finding all the edge case bugs and stuff like that, and writing them up in Jira. And then we're just going through. They prioritize the bugs in Jira, and us developers are just going and picking off the top, because the top, whatever the top story is or bug is in Jira, is the highest priority. So as soon as you finish a bug, you'll pick up the next bug off the top of the list. You'll work on that bug until you get it done. And while you're doing that, the other devs are doing the same. So everybody's picking off that list and working the bugs and going through that backlog. And so that's it. So it's cool and interesting doing that, because you get to fix problems instead of write whole new features and stuff like that. So it's a smaller amount of work, but it's cool, like critical work, because you'll write a test. First thing you do when you get a bug is you write a test that duplicates that bug, and then you basically write code until you get that test to pass. So if I don't know, what's a super dumbed down issue. I don't know. If you're building a calculator app and it says when I put in square root of 9, I get 8 instead of 9, you would basically write a test that says, square root of 9, expect square root of 9 to equal 3. Or I said 8 instead of 9. Square root of 9 should equal 3. And you write a test that says expect square root of 9 to equal 3. And instead of equaling 3, it equals 8. So that test is going to fail, because that is how the app is broken. And basically you now go back and you write the code or change the code. And every time you change the code, that test will run, and it'll keep failing until you find the answer that will make it actually come out to be 3 instead of 8. And so that's kind of test-driven development, where you write the test first and then write the code until that test works. Any Bitcoin? For me, I don't have any Bitcoin, man. I still got these little, I was about to say Rokus. They're not Rokus. Raspberry Pis over here, crunching away on some Magic Coin. But I think Bitcoin's way out of my horizons now. What's it at now? I looked one week, it was at 9,000. Then a few days later, it was at 10.5, and then it was at 12, and then I looked again, it was at 14. I'm like, see, now it's at 16. Are you crazy? That's I tell you what, those people that had Bitcoin, and I think Bitcoin started in what, 2010? So it's what, 7 years old? About to be 8 years old? And you used to be able to get Bitcoins for fractions of a penny. I think, probably, I don't know, for a few cents at the most. I remember they had a poker site. I think I talked about that before, where they were using Bitcoins back in the day, and it was almost like play money, because the Bitcoins cost so little that you put a couple bucks in and get a ton of Bitcoins, and then that's what you would use to actually play in the poker game. You were betting, winning and losing Bitcoins. And now, man, if you had left Bitcoins in that poker account and forgot about them for a few years, imagine, you got a poker account that's got, 500 Bitcoins or 1,000 Bitcoins in it. You're like a millionaire now. That's crazy. And then you hear about the case where the guy, one of the first places that would take pizza was like the small pizza joint, or take Bitcoin was a small pizza joint. And the guy ordered pizza with Bitcoin, and he like tipped the guy in Bitcoin and everything. It was, he tipped the guy like, I don't know, like a crazy, not even a crazy amount of Bitcoin, but what it would equate to now is like the pizza would have cost him like hundreds of thousands of dollars, in Bitcoin. If in today's value, which is like nuts, like $1 million pizza or something crazy. But yeah, there are people that it's nuts, man. I mean, possibly the world's first trillionaire. You know what I'm saying? And this cryptocurrency stuff is out there, because everything's anonymous. Nobody knows. You can actually go online if you type in top 100 Bitcoin wallets. You can see the wallets and the wallet addresses of people that have a lot of Bitcoin. Man, I got to get the setup going where I can shoot these on my computer and then screen share, because there's so many things we've talked about even tonight that I would love to screen share with you guys. Top 100 Bitcoin wallets. I did that the other day and I was amazed. Like, the first site that comes up is like bitinfocharts.com. There are two Bitcoin addresses, two Bitcoin wallets that have at least 100,000 Bitcoins in those wallets. That's crazy. Wirecast or Google Hangout to do that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that set up and figured out. Matter of fact, my next live is gonna be from the computer so that I can screen share and stuff. It's really easy to do on my phone because you just hit go live, put a little title in there, take a screenshot, and you're off and going. But I'll figure it out. That's crazy, man. Here's a Bitcoin wallet. The number one address has 127,342 Bitcoins in it, which is equivalent to $2.14 billion. $2.14 billion, right? That's crazy. And that account got its first Bitcoin this year, January 5th, and got his last Bitcoin in it today. That's crazy, man. That's absolutely nuts. Wow. So he's a Bitcoin billionaire, It's nuts. But what are you gonna do? Yeah, I mean, I've seen it where they got like over in China and other places, because the big timers that are really big into it and serious, like they take everything into account. Like they look at the entire world and see and find places that have the lowest energy cost, and they will go to those places and create and start Bitcoin mines there. So they'll have big warehouses that's full of miners, and they do it that way. So they lower their expenses and their costs while still, producing Bitcoin. Because the cost of producing Bitcoin is really the energy. Once you've purchased the hardware, it's really the energy cost of generating it. That is the biggest expense. So if you cut that expense down, you can be good to go. Oh, you just got an 80D? That's a good camera, man. Yeah, that is crazy. Am I familiar with Forex trading? Very little. I know there was a guy on YouTube that was kind of his thing was teaching Forex trading, and there's courses out there about Forex trading too, but I am not. If you would like to educate me on that, I'm definitely open to that, to learning. Not to say that I would get involved in it, because I feel like I got a lot of balls in the air right now, and I'm very prone to being a squirrel type of guy, and going for the next shiny object. So I force myself to stay focused on only one or two big ideas at a time, and to pursue those, because I'll end up starting a lot of projects and not finishing any of them because I get off track with going for the new shiny thing. So yeah, thinking about buying a GPU and building. Tim, when you ask, can you build one? Are you talking about building a mine or building a rig? Because building a mine is like a bunch of rigs. In my mind, building a Bitcoin mine is like a whole series of rigs. But you can build a rig. Yeah, you can build a rig. You can definitely build a rig, man. Um, just YouTube how to build a mining rig, and they'll get you up there. The biggest thing is the cost nowadays. Either if you go get an ASIC miner, application specific integrated circuit, which all they do is it's a little box that all it does, it has no user interface or input output. All it has is an Ethernet port, so you jack in the internet to it, and then you have to go uh, get the IP address of it and log in with that. All it does is mine Bitcoin. Like, it has no other function as a machine uh, except for mining Bitcoin. And that's the thing that the big boys will get. They'll buy a bunch of those miners. And what happens is about every 3 or 4 months, these companies that produce the miners will drop a new ASIC rig into the market, which is faster, more powerful, more gigahashes of computing power, and those miners will be profitable for about 3 to 4 months, and then their profitability will begin to decline, and then 4 or 5 months from when they drop, another one will drop, another one will hit the market and have high profitability before another 3 or 4 months happen. The reason that happens is the way the Bitcoin network works is you have to crunch these numbers right to find out the hashes, the hash numbers. You're basically solving a puzzle, and by solving that puzzle, you're verifying transactions on the Bitcoin network. To keep the timing down, because they only want a block of data to be released what's the Bitcoin? Is it every 10 minutes in the Bitcoin network? I think Ethereum is every 12 seconds or something crazy. But in the Bitcoin network, they only want a block released every 10 minutes. So it was easy in the beginning when they started the network because there weren't a lot of people mining for it. So what they do is they increase the level of difficulty of finding this hash number. They crank it up as more people get on the network to try to mine, so that regardless of how many people are on the network, the answer still isn't solved faster than 10 minutes. So when they dump these new super fast miners on the network, they can solve that problem a lot faster. So what happens is that the network starts increasing the difficulty in solving that number, and that's why their profitability will slowly start to decline as the difficulty catches up to their new fast processing power. And so they'll come out now with another one in a few months that'll be able to crunch this level of difficulty even faster. And so they're really profitable for a while, and then the difficulty starts to go up to meet them, and their profitability starts to go up. So it's a leapfrogging game. And then you try to get in where you fit in with your GPUs and lower, they have lower processing power to crunch those numbers. But it's hard to compete with those guys that are getting full bulk lots of those ASIC machines that specialize in doing it. If they're getting 20, 30, 50 of those things, which costs $2, $3, $4, $5,000 a pop, it's hard to compete with those guys as far as the amount of money that you can generate. That's the tip of the spear, the pinnacle of it. Now you can still get in there and make money with GPUs, and there are GPUs that work. Some GPUs work better than others, but a GPU is it was never meant to solely mine. They're a multitasking machine, but they are good at mining for Bitcoin at the same time. the caveat to that is that it's driven up the price um, of those Bitcoin of GPUs. You know, gamers got really mad because the only people who really wanted these crazy, you know, performant GPUs in the back in the day was only people that cared about gaming, or you were doing 3D video rendering stuff. So those were really the only two markets for these super high end graphics cards. Now all these Bitcoin guys have come in and start snatching those up, which the manufacturers are now charging more for those because of course capitalism. If there's a big demand, uh, and lower supply because they're snatching them all up, then the price goes up. So now the casual gamer who wants a great video card for his game, and the 3D graphics guy who's trying to get some work done, you know, they got to pay these astronomical prices for a GPU. I was looking online at one the other day, cost $800, you know, and it wasn't even no crazy good GPU, but it just costs $800 because it's one of the GPUs that Bitcoin miners use. So, I mean, that whole game is interesting to me, you know, in how it's playing out. I just got off the phone with my financial advisor guy, and he was saying that too. He said, you know, a lot of my clients are between the ages of, you know, in their mid to late 20s. And he said, you know, I was just talking to a guy about Bitcoin, and he said I had to tell him. He said I had to tell him, boy, you ain't old enough to remember the last market crash. so he is not very keen on Bitcoin, to say the least. So I'll just say that. But it's crazy. I remember back in 2006, and this is a conversation me and him had. I said I remember like 05, 06, when everybody and their mama was talking about real estate. And that started making me worry. I said I got in a cab at Vegas when I landed in Vegas from Okinawa. And the cab driver was talking about real estate and buying and investing in real estate. And I said, that's usually a crazy sign when everybody and their mama is talking about something. That means it's too late. It's too late. You done missed it. And the people that really made the money, they made it a long time ago. Because markets always depend. You got to have a sucker at the end, you know, so that the people that got in early with their money can cash out, you know. So you see it in the penny stock world all the time with those pump and dumps and stuff, to where the people that really make the money, they've been buying the penny stock little by little over months and months and months and months and months and months and months. And then they put out a PR thing about it to pump it. And they're like, oh, you got to check out this stock XYZ. It's the next biggest thing. It's going to make you a millionaire. And then the everyday Joe Schmo is like, oh, let me get on this and buy these shares. And then when the shares that they're buying are the shares that the people that got in early are selling. As the stock prices went up, they're selling to the sucker. And then he gets stuck holding the bag, and then it crashes because there's no demand for this thing. So it's all, you know, you got to understand the game and how to play it. So people make money in penny stocks every day, but it's the people on the early end that's setting up all this stuff, you know. So you can make money at any game, but you really need to understand the game. It's starting to worry me about Bitcoin because my Facebook feed now, which has no technical people in it, I use Facebook only for friends and family. So if anybody finds me on Facebook and tries to add me, I'm probably not going to add you because that's strictly for people that I know, I grew up with type thing. So they are not technical. And I got people in my Facebook feed talking about Bitcoin. And I'm from old backwoods country, Mississippi. So when you got old backwoods country folks talking about Bitcoin, oh, that makes me a little nervous, man. That makes me a little nervous. So, we fam now, Tim. Huh? Okay, we from Mississippi. I know. I think everybody in Mississippi related somehow. That's all good. But on the real, I got the Facebook page, the Black Knight Coding Facebook page, that you can definitely, you know, sign up to and stuff like that. But I do try to keep my personal Facebook because at one point in time I had Facebook. I forget what the max is. I mean, maybe like 5,000 people or something. I had that thing maxed out, and it was people from all over the world. And I said, you know what, this is stupid because like I don't know these folks. And these folks don't know me. I don't want people, liking on my posts and stuff, and I don't even know them and stuff like that. So I went and deleted like a ton of folks, all the way down to just people that, I really personally know and have personal relationships with. So my Facebook means a lot more to me now than it used to back in the day. I wrote today, if we don't know what an IPO or ICO, forget the word Bitcoin. Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. I mean, a lot of people, it's in the main, the headline news now. The main media is talking about Bitcoin, so everybody sees it, and it gets people excited. People that everybody wants an opportunity. Especially if it's an opportunity to make us, significant amount of money, in a short amount of time. Anybody's gonna want to jump on that, But you really got to understand what it is and what it's doing. A lot of people can't even tell you that much about Bitcoin, or they don't know the technology behind it, or why Bitcoin even exists, or any of that stuff, And that there's two different parts. There's the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and then there's the blockchain technology behind it, and how those two things work together, but how they're also totally separate, and you can do a ton of stuff with blockchain. That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in blockchain stuff, because I think that's going to be a wave of the future in blockchain and distributed data sets and technology. So 2 of the last 5 big companies I've worked with have been big data companies that had to do with working with very large data sets and making sense out of those. And blockchain kind of falls right into that vein. So I could definitely see myself being interested in something like that, because I think the people that are early on this blockchain technology stuff, and there's VC funded companies already that have created businesses from blockchain stuff. So they're the super early innovators, but there's still, I think, a good amount of time for people to get in on blockchain technology and business ideas surrounding blockchain that are going to make like a ton of money, because one of the draws for people using that company and that business is that no big company owns your data. Blockchain disperses it amongst the people, and so you never have to worry about, what happens if something happens to Google, or something happens to Apple, or something happens to Microsoft or Amazon, or one of these big companies, where your data is usually centralized in one of those companies. Amazon, S3 or S2, or all their web services, EC2, and all that stuff like that. So I think blockchain will be a big deal. And because it's immutable, people can't go in and change the ledger. That's what really appeals to me. There was a good explanation of it on a course that I'm taking that talks about an example use case was for like DMV. So DMV records and information. How the manufacturer manufactures the car and puts the VIN number on it, and it can be recorded then in the blockchain and verified by the blockchain. And, it goes from the manufacturer to the dealer that sells it. That transaction is registered. The dealer sells it to the individual. That transaction is registered. The person goes and gets it registered with the DMV. Now you don't have to do all these crazy long, it can drastically cut down in the amount of time for processing requests by the DMV, because that the information is true. Like, it hasn't been tampered with. It can't be tampered with without it sending up a red flag. So imagine, DMV wait times and stuff being cut drastically because of blockchain technology. If you do the same thing with identity of people as well, can cut down on background checks. There's so much stuff out there that can be done using blockchain technology that they're going to be. I watched an interview where the blockchain expert said, I would dare say that the world's first trillionaire is going to be someone that comes up with an idea that utilizes blockchain technology. And I was like, wow, that's kind of like a big deal. It's crazy. All right, let me catch up. Boom, boom. Today, I received an interview request with the startup for blockchain specialist evangelist. Oh, really? Now, that's interesting, Kiana. Any advice on questions you should ask or watch out for? For blockchain, startup for blockchain specialist and evangelist. That's kind of cool. I might be if all things were right there. I don't know what your situation is, Kiana, as far as your job or what you're doing, and if you're even looking for a move or anything like that. But if the numbers are right there, I might be interested in something like that. You know, depending upon just to have your feet in the get your feet wet in the industry, and I guarantee you'll probably learn more about blockchain in that position than 80% of other people. I feel pretty confident saying that, which positions you in a great position. I mean, especially if you're that entrepreneurial and you got business ideas and stuff, like wow, that can be cool. Tim, what you talking about? I deleted you. I ain't delete you. I don't think you were ever on my personal Facebook, were you? I don't know. Everybody wants to win in lottery ticket. Yep, you're right. Want to invest in Bitcoin tech? It's not a bad idea. I'm telling you. A company called Carex Tech. Their focus is health tech, EHR, international, and out-of-network provider networks. That's a good use for blockchain, actually, and transmitting PHI via blockchain. Looks like supplemental healthcare plan. See, I told you there's already companies out there that are focused on using blockchain technology to solve common everyday problems today. And that's one of the companies that's out there doing it. It's probably going to be, it's probably going to make a fortune, I know you work with startups. Oh, as far as startups, so if that's what you meant by questions you should ask or watch out for. Carex. Okay, I got you. Okay. Are they on the S&P and Dow? I think they're a startup, Tim, so they probably aren't listed anywhere. They're probably still private, angel funding or taking a round or two of funding. That's a good question, Kiana. Questions for a startup. It's really for me. It's really about their money and how well funded they are. They're a startup. They are a startup ICO in 15 days or so. Oh, really? Darn, not an accredited investor, but yeah, no. Who's accredited? I'm not an accredited investor yet. I should go for that. I don't know. We'll see. For me, it's really all about the money. If I were to jump ship now for a startup, I have to feel secure in that they are well funded to, or at least you go in with your eyes open. You need to know if they're well funded or not. How many months of runway do they have at their current funding level? So any good CEO worth their salt should be able to answer that question. At your current funding level and burn rate, those are words that he should understand. Runway just means they should know how much money they're burning every month, right? They have a amount of money in the bank that they have received from angel investors or VCs or whatever it is. They have an amount of money in the bank. They're burning through X amount of dollars per month on average. And depending on how much money there is and how fast they're burning through it, that's how much runway they have before they run out of runway. And they either got to raise more money or they're closing the doors and going out of business. So those are questions that I would personally have, only because it's not just me. I'm supporting the whole family, and we got all this stuff going on that is dependent on me. So I take being able to secure funds for their lifestyle and taking care of them very seriously. So that's the biggest thing for me, is making sure that they got the money, and X amount of money. And I want to know when that runway ends, so that around that time I'm still working, writing my code, but my ears are up for any conversations going on about either another funding round raise, or I might have my toe in another pool, putting out feelers for another gig, just so you don't get hit with the okie doke email of don't come to work tomorrow because we can't pay you, like I've gotten before. Um, so that's the biggest thing for me with the startup, to know what their direction is. You always want to know that that's outside of the regular I'm going to work for a company questions that you ask, as far as company culture and fit, and all those types of things. What's a day in the life of a developer look like there? You want to know, because if they some things may be important to you. If they're like, well, most you know the office opens up at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, but some people get here at 7 o'clock or 6 in the morning, and then you work all day, and then some people stay till 6, 7 at night, 8, 9 at night. Then that starts putting my ears up, like, okay, this is probably what they're going to expect of me, is to be one of those early guys, staying late and all of that. So that's a conversation, not to say that's good or bad, but that's a conversation that you need to have with whoever your significant others are in your life. And that may or may not be something that you want to take on at that particular time in your life as well. So if they've got that, chugging 10 Red Bulls a day, we're working 15 hours a day, every day, and I might have to call you on the weekend if the system go down and all of that. You need to know what you're getting into with a startup type thing. It's one thing to buy into the startup and be a part of the team. It's another thing to not have totally out of whack work-life balance. I'm at a point right now in my life where work-life balance is as important as the money that I make. Olamida working on a project, should be ready in early 2018. I'll share it with you, but not with many other people, because I see you are about positivity and building something solid. Yeah, man, that's cool. I mean, I wouldn't. You can probably share it with people on this channel too. I mean, most of the people that come and hang out, especially on these lives and stuff, they're probably somewhere, around the same vein as me. As I'm all about positivity. My old Mississippi grandmother said, "Boy, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all." And as simple as that sounds, and you've heard it a million times, that kind of rings true. I kind of take that to heart. So I'm very hesitant on putting any type of negativity out there around anything. I'm all about love, man. Love and positivity. Let's go. There's plenty of people out there that is quick to spew some foolishness and hate around. So I'll let them take care of that. I'm going to keep the love and positivity coming, man. Always good chatting with you. Yeah, appreciate it, Tim. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Tim, if you leave before you jump out the room, tell me, and this is for the entire room, tell me what things of value would be good if I would, that I could provide. I know Kiana had put some stuff in. She wanted to know more about the real estate side, as far as, the real estate agent side and getting your real estate license and all of that and getting legit. So I can do that. Putting out a video on Team Treehouse, as far as, the learning and education side of it. I'll play that by ear and see how it goes. If people like that stuff, then I can always do it for other online training sites and stuff as well. I've been throwing around in my head. I'm just so busy. I'm so hesitant to pull the trigger on it, of building like building some type of project, right? And building it, um, not necessarily live, but doing it, breaking it up in different steps, and then people can follow along, and we can kind of build something together, type thing. And hopefully people will take it and grab it and run, and they'll branch off and do this thing or that thing or whatever. Would that be of interest? See more how, to be honest with you, I see more of how having the proper work-life balance when it comes to work and who you are. Okay, I can talk about that. I'm not a best expert on work-life balance because I'm juggling two things at the same time right now, and I spend a lot of time in this room. But I do back. I do make it a point to spend very good small quantity of time with the family. So, come on, yo, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to the stream. I don't know, have you been in the streams before? If not, welcome to the fam. That's why I show love. When it comes to the tech world, I'm always like that's all good. Come on, I appreciate it, Tim, man. I appreciate it a lot. I mean, it motivates me to keep doing these, but I really want to provide some value. Start providing, value back, and I know a lot of people come here for coding, and while I didn't want my channel to turn into coding tutorial channel, because I feel like there's so many other people that do that, that would probably do that better than me and have more time to do that than me. It's really the time thing that makes me hesitate. If that is something that people want to see, then I'm open to doing something like that. Like, it's something that I could probably shoot on the weekend, so I could put out like one episode a week. I shoot it on the weekend, edit it, drop it out on the weekend, and then we'll do part 1 to a site, and there'll be things that we'll discover together, because I'm thinking about like not doing an Angular thing. I spend so much time in the Angular world now, that I really worry that I'm getting rusty with my vanilla non-framework stuff, so I really want to do something that doesn't involve, that's not Angular specific. And then maybe down the line, if people have an interest in Angular, because that's my comfort, that's my comfort zone, I'm more than happy to do some Angular specific stuff. But I really think I'm going to do some vanilla web development type stuff. I just really want it to be like some type of problem, instead of like, hey, let's build a website type thing, because that's not enjoyable to me, is to build a brochure site. I haven't even built a brochure site for my own self, and that shows you how much I don't like building. I don't like building brochure sites. Like, let me tell you about me. Like, no, I want to build a problem or something to fix some problem or something like that. Like an application. I want to build let me slow down. Let me pump my brakes right there. Because if we go building a real application, yeah, I'm going to want to use some type of framework on it, probably. If it would be something big. But some small problem. Solve some small problem. Let's write some code. And you'll get to see how I write it, what type of issues I run into, and stuff like that. So I'll probably write something up. We'll solve the problem first, and then maybe go back and make it pretty. Usually developers that are, they're developers that are more on the code side and getting real deep in the code and crazy sophisticated abstractions and cool, computer sciencey stuff. And then there are developers that swing more towards, talk to you later, man. Take it easy, Tim. There are developers that swing more towards the design side and making stuff pretty. I would definitely say I tend to swing more towards the code side than the design side. Those that swing toward the design side are usually really good at writing the code and making it pretty at the same time. I usually solve the problem first and end up with an application don't look good, but it works, and then sliding back and okay, let's see if we can't make this thing pretty. So that'll probably be the course of action that I take as we go through something. If you have ideas on what type of application to write or code up or something like that, throw them out there. Message me somehow, either through Facebook or Slack, or even drop a comment on one of the videos or something like that to let me know. I've got a couple ideas, but I just didn't want to do a hey, what's going on, Daniel? I didn't want to do a to-do app, or something that's been done a million times. I wanted to do something different. I might do something that incorporates an API from somewhere else. Certain places have open APIs and stuff. So maybe I'll do something that involves hooking up to somebody's API and pulling some data in. Like you can hook into YouTube has an API, Instagram has an API. All these different places have APIs that you can hook into and get feeds and stuff from. Twitter has an API, all kinds of stuff. So we'll do I think I'll do something like that incorporates some type of API, and I'll just record it and put it out there, man, and then get feedback from you guys and tell me how you like it. That sound good? That sound like something that would be interesting? I know Daniel said it sounds good. That's good. Kiana, I'll get your video out. She said it sounds cool. All right. That sounds good to me. I think that'll be the deal, y'all. That's it. I think that'll be it for the day. We're coming up on about an hour. I'm going to jump out. I promised the lady that I'd be an hour or less. So I want to be true to my word and get back out here, open this door and get back out here and help her with these babies. So I think that's it, man. If you got any questions, feel free to hit me up. Neo, what's going on, man? I don't know if you've been in the on the live channel before. If not, welcome, my friend. I'll see all y'all later. If you got any questions, feel free to hit me up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, man. Okay, cool. Subscribe, hit the bell. Most of you guys already hit the bell, so when I go live and stuff like that, you get the notifications. So that'll be something good. Olamida, I look forward to your app that you got coming out 2018. And taking a look at it and seeing what you got going on, man. That's kind of exciting that you're working on something. So I dig that. Maybe we can, I'll start working on my thing and maybe we'll get everybody in the channel working on something. And then someday we'll be able to debut people's projects. We can drop them right here on the channel and we can all take a look at everybody's projects and get to hear, what type of obstacles they ran into when they were building it and what went really well. And, they got it out there live on the net and everything. And that's what I would love to see, is everybody got a little piece of something that they've written out there on the web for other people to see and appreciate, and something that they can point to. Because like I've said before, there's no substitution for actually writing code and deploying it. If you write something and you deploy it and put it on the web, you're so much further ahead than other people that are learning how to code. Because very few people can point to something on the internet and say, that's me. That right there, that's me. Regardless of what it looks like or anything like that, that is me. And I know how to write something, to take something from up here, make it come through these fingers into the computer, and to put it on the internet. All from what started right here. Like that's a special gift. Back in the days, if you wanted to be a maker, you had to be skilled. You had to know how to do something with your hands, or woodwork, or you're welding, or doing something with metal in order to create something. Now we have this power to think of something and move our little fingers and make something that can affect millions of people. So I want to get everybody on the channel to doing that, and it'll be exciting. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. I might talk to y'all tomorrow. So we'll see y'all, man. It's constant battle with paralysis of analysis. You got to get it out there, man. Hit the button. You got to hit the publish button, send it up, let it go. I had to do the same thing on this channel. I kept coming up with all this stuff. Oh, I gotta get a one of these fancy cameras. Oh, I gotta get a lighting set up. Oh, I need the microphone, fancy microphone, boom, and all. It was all this stuff I needed, and then Golden Child came through and said, if you don't take that phone out your pocket, put it down and hit go live, and just talk to the people. And I was like, okay, and that's kind of how it all started, man. So you gotta just do it. Stop analyzing it, put it up. There's so many, most people care about what it looks like, and that stops them. But there's so many good, ugly projects out there. That site for the biggest Bitcoin wallets and stuff. That is not some fancy, good-looking site. Not at all. So don't feel like that's what you got to do in order to get your thing out there to the world. Like, look, this is I don't know if you can see. It's just text, man. It's text with a little bit of shaded line in it. Like, this is not no crazy thing, But I bet you hundreds of thousands of people hit that site every week because it has value. It's a site that creates value. It's valuable information, So don't feel like you got to go some whiz bang, crazy graphics, 3D stuff flying around. Like, you ain't got to do that. You can make a simple informational site, and people will go to it and use it if it provides some value. So that's it. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.